I was surprised to learn recently that for some watch collectors, the accuracy of their timepiece doesn't really matter. I'm talking about those who collect high horology, mechanical watches. What's more important for them are the grand complications built into the movement, or the quality of the Geneva stripes decorated on the rotor. Even the quality of the screws used inside the case would be of more importance to them, that the ability of the watch to tell the time accurately becomes of secondary importance. Don't get me wrong, I do like mechanical watches. I have two, but the ones I have are not what would be considered luxury timepieces. Pursuing the luxury watch collection path would not be something that I neither have the time nor the inclination for, assuming of course that money were not a hindrance. They need tending to with a regular servicing, putting them on a watch winder when not being worn for fear that their mechanism will seize, and adjusting them before wearing. So with that in mind, I'd imagine that if I did go down the path of collecting mechanical watches, I would be asking myself, do I own my watches or do they own me? And that's why I chose the path of collecting quartz watches. I can just leave them in a drawer when not in use, assured by the fact that they will be working and accurate the next time they're on my wrist. As accurate as they are though, they still need to be adjusted about once a year if you want them to be in sync with the time standard. With the WV59 you don't even have to perform that task, as it will adjust itself daily through tuning in to the radio waves transmitted by the world's atomic clocks. It's about as close as you can get to a watch with perfect timekeeping. I'm going to start off this review with something that I don't normally do, and that is with the negatives. The watch comes with a linked roll steel bracelet with a trifold clasp. Out of the box it was way too long for me and Casio didn't provide any instructions on how to size it. I did figure it out through watching some YouTube videos, but there is another step involved in removing the links which I figured out for myself, so I'll quickly show you how to do that. Firstly, use a drawing pin to detach the strap from one end of the clasp, and this will enable you to lay the watch flat. On the underside of the bracelet you will see arrows on the links which can be removed. The direction of the arrows shows the way in which you need to move the pins in order to remove them. Using a small screwdriver, remove a pin for each link you want to separate. Now here's where this bracelet is a little different from the instructional videos that I've seen. In those the links came apart when the pins were removed, but on this one they were still firmly stuck together. What you need to do to separate the links is to have the underside facing towards you, and then bend the bracelet at the point where you remove the pin towards you. I removed a total of 6 links to fit my wrist, 3 for each side. To put the bracelet back together, start with one end at 90 degrees, line up the teeth with the slots and then bend back. Then it's just a matter of pushing the pins back in and then reattaching the bracelet to the clasp. Now let's check out some wrist shots. Straight out of the box, the only other thing that you need to do before using, apart from sizing the bracelet, is to set the home city to the city that you live in. The time would have been set to the correct time in Tokyo when it was produced, and when I changed it to London I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was showing the correct time and date in my time zone. The WV59 features world time, and it will work out the correct time in 48 different cities in relation to the time that was originally entered into the watch. The case is made of resin and is also covered by a thin sheet of stainless steel. The steel has a brushed finish at the lugs and a polished finish at the sides. On the back is a steel plate held down by 4 screws. It's engraved with the module number, the watch's features, and a representation of an atomic time transmitter. Water resistance rating for the watch is rated at 50 meters. Dimensions for the case are 48.3mm in length, 39mm wide, and has a thickness of 12.5mm. The weight for the watch before removing any of the links is 82 grams. The LCD display is divided into 3 sections. The top line shows the date, and what's nice about it is that I can choose to have it displayed in a day, month, year format, unlike most Casios. The main section used for displaying the time uses some large digits, which is excellent for clarity. On the bottom left it shows the day of week. The watch supports 9 different languages, which are English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, Italian, Chinese, Russian, German and Japanese. And so the day of week will be displayed in the language which you have chosen. On the bottom right is a receiving indicator for the atomic time signal, and I'll go over how that works later. Covering the LCD is an acrylic crystal. It has a slight dome shape and sticks out from the surface. I'm sure that it will be a magnet for scratches, but hopefully they should polish out easily. Inside the case is a 3476 module. Early versions of the WV59 use a 3053 module, which was backlit by an EL panel, but now the 3476 module uses 2 amber coloured LEDs for the backlight. Features for the module includes world time, as already mentioned, a stopwatch, countdown timer, and a single daily alarm with an hourly time signal. The alarm buzzer on this watch is very good and is one of the loudest that I've heard on any digital watch. The power source is a single CR1620 battery, which should last an average of 3 years. If the WV59 were never to receive an atomic time signal, it would be accurate to within plus minus 15 seconds a month. But that's not the reason for getting a WV59. Its main feature is that it receives an accurate time signal from one of 5 atomic time transmitters. The transmitters are located in the United States, UK, Germany and 2 in Japan. The source time for these atomic time transmitters are accurate to 1 second every thousands of years. The discovery of this ultra-accurate timekeeping method by using atomic clocks has enabled the invention of many things which we take for granted today. This includes mobile phones, global positioning systems, and even the internet. In order for the watch to be updated with accurate time information, all you have to do is to leave it by the window. The watch will try automatically to update itself with this information between the hours of midnight and 5 o'clock in the morning, and it will stop once successful. To check for the last time that the watch successfully received a time signal, just press the bottom right button. You can also carry out a manual calibration with the atomic time signal if you cannot wait until after midnight. To do so, hold down the bottom right button until you hear a beep. The process can take up to 10 minutes, so I'll speed it along, and the bottom right window shows the strength of the signal. So that's my review of the Casio WV59. A great looking watch packed with some nice features for those obsessed with accurate timekeeping. Even if you don't care too much for the accuracy, its self-regulating feature means that it's truly a watch that you can use with minimal intervention. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time.